All right. Good morning, everybody. Stand by real quick. Let me do something. Okay. Hey, everybody. This is Eric from TopFlight Trades. It is September 12th. Incredibly. September 12th already. Hopefully my audio is not too hot today. This is the weekend stock review. Again, every weekend, every Saturday, if I'm around, that is. You look over the stocks, take a look at what happened last week, what the market did. Take a look at, pretty much what I've been playing, what we've been holding. Take a look at some stocks we're watching and what we anticipate to get in next week. And I'll go over some of the ones that I closed out on and kind of go over some performance as well. I'll probably start with that, actually. Yeah, and that's that. So, again, I apologize for the lack of content. I've been out on the road. That we got fires going on right now in the West, and I've been out and about. So pretty much I've been coming home on weekends primarily, and that's good. So I'm trying to keep up with everything. But right now, as you'll see as we get into it, my sentiment on the market is very, very bearish right now. At least give me another week or two. And I think we're going to see some real action on the downside. And for that reason, I don't have any premium picks. I don't have anything long right now. I'm not getting the setups I've been wanting for long plays. And so I've pretty much been playing everything on the short side. So I pretty much follow the trend. I'm a trend follower pretty much when it comes to the stocks. I look at where the market's going and I go in that direction. I never fight the trend. So if we're in a bullish market, I'm bullish. For a bearish market, I'm bearish. Even on the short term, you might say, well, it's not a bear market. We're in correction. Maybe so. But during that time period, my charts tell me that we're going downward. And so that's the direction I play. So let's jump right into this. Let's take a look at the charts real quick. And then we'll go over a couple things here. So let me do a screen share here. And if I haven't introduced myself yet, I'm Eric from TopFlight Trades. It's topflighttrades.com. You can go over there and check out the site. We're also over on StockTwits. We're on InvestFeed. If you go over InvestFeed, check it out. We also have a premium feed over there as well if you want to follow along with our plays, my plays, ins and outs. I post all the watch lists there, and when I enter, and it's all queued up. So check that out if you'd like. Facebook, Twitter, all those places. All right, so let's take a look at the S&P. Okay, here we are. So every weekend we look at this, okay? And obviously for quite a while this year, we've been in this range, just trading sideways stuff. Kind of had a fake breakout here, came down, touched a 200-day moving average here. I thought we were doomed here on this day. Bounced right back, came back up to resistance here, failed to make new highs, and then boom, just turned out on us. So that's where we're at, where we were. You can see this S&P came all the way down to the 182, 183 area. Got a pretty good, not very significant, insignificant bounce, but we got a little bounce out of it. And we've been bouncing around in here. So where are we going? Well, again, my view on the market changed back here. Was in June 19th, something like that. This guy right here. Failed to make a new high. Okay, we had a high here. We failed to make a new high. So we have a lower high. And to me, that's a sign of it kind of rolling over, I guess. I was convinced pretty much. Didn't really seem to have a lot of strength to show me that we were going to go higher. So having a higher low or a lower high, that told me to watch out. And kind of pretty much right off the bat, it pulled back down to the 200. Kind of came back up here again. So anyways, here we are. And this was the breakdown that I really didn't want to see, but I was planning for. And by this point, I've been short on a lot of stocks. I've been playing a lot of put options. And I'm still primarily on all puts right now. So we got the bounce out of it. So where are we at? So last we met, I think we were back here in this area. It was last week, right? We're down in here. Again, what I look for, the question is, are we going to bounce out of this and come back up to these levels? Well, the problem right now, again, that I see is this right here. We did not make a new higher high, did we? Okay, you can see we came right up to resistance there again. I'm referring to this candle here on Wednesday. Okay, not liking that. Okay. It's just choppy. It's all over the place. But again, we still did not make a new high. I expected yesterday, to be a real significant down day. If not, I'm thinking Monday. Yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend. But next week, I do not expect it to be green whatsoever. Sorry for the negative outlook. I'm definitely more of a optimistic guy than pessimistic. But I mean, the charts this is just what the charts tell me. Okay, and I gotta rely on my technical analysis here and reading the charts, and that's the truth. So that's the S&P. Again, we could maybe in a few days here get a little pop out of it, but I'm thinking we're coming back down. One thing that was pointed out to me today, which is really interesting here, you can see I got lines drawn all over this chart. Okay, this is the S&P. So let me zoom out a bit and you can kind of see a bit. Okay, let me draw a line. So you can see way back here, it's kind of hard to see, back here in October, we had come down to this area. It was October 16th, 15th, 16th. It was this big, huge deal we had here. Okay. And we bounced out of it. I think that was the kind of bounce that we're hoping to get over here today, but it's not happening. But you come over here and you look, and this is fairly good support area, really. Okay. Now I play the bodies of the candles either way. You can do it like that. Okay. But you can see we've come down, touched it, and we essentially came close to touching it here. That's a pretty good support area. One that somebody just pointed out to me, which is really scary, is this guy down here. Let me jump over to the weekly and you can see. Okay. Okay, so let's get this line out of here. The guy I just drew. How about this? Come on, all you chartists out there, you know what I'm talking about here. Here's the monthly view of the S&P, of the spider. So this is monthly. Now we're going back to 1994 here. 94, right on up to 2000, pulled back, took another run at it again. There's 2007, pulled back again, and then we finally popped through it. 2013, made a run, and now we're pulling back. So where are we going? Of course, you want to look at supply or support and resistance. The obvious one, and hopefully not, is back down here at this line. So you're at like 153 on the spider here. That would not be good. And again, this is a monthly chart. Now let's look at the weekly. You can kind of get an idea of where this is. Let me zoom out. Okay, you can kind of see one of the points there. There's another. Okay, so that would not be good. You think that this move down here was bad. Can you imagine coming all the way down here in the next year, 6 months? Hopefully no sooner than that. That would be very bad. Anyway, it's just pretty interesting. Also noting here, which I didn't catch before, looking here at the weekly chart, you can see we're now underneath the 50-week line. This blue line is the, no, I'm sorry, it's a 100-week line. Gold is 50-week, 100-week, and this is the 200-week average line. We are just underneath that right now. Interesting. Jump back over to the daily again. Okay. And of course, these same lines now, we're looking at a daily chart. So this gold lines are 50-day average, 100-day average. And gold is the 200-day average. We're clearly underneath those right now. So, what are we looking at right now? Well, again, we're not making higher highs. We are making higher lows. We're kind of getting this funky little, very short-term wedge thing going on here. But, what I see is, let me draw a line here. This might even look better on the 60-minute. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's the 60-minute. So what I'm seeing is, you get something like that, right? And then what do we got here? You could say we're forming an ascending triangle if you were to put a line there. You kind of look something like that. And that's bullish, but they do fail. But anyways, so that's the S&P. Let me get rid of that line there. Go back to the daily on the S&P. So anyways, that's where we are. So we'll keep an eye on this. Again, here's my line that I just drew. If this fails this, then we're coming down, and we could be coming back down here to these levels again. All right, let me take a look here. Let me see what the RSI tells us. Okay. Now I like looking at the RSI. It's good. I also like looking at the Stoke, which I have down here. What do we got? Okay, so on the RSI, if we're looking for a breakout, what I'd want to see is it break above this area. Can we break above those points and shoot upward? I don't know. That would be a good sign. Can it pop up through there, or is it going to bounce off that resistance there and then come on down? And that's kind of the thing. But that's how you can use RSI. You can see the RSI here. We kind of build a support line, and it's touched it 4 times here recently as we're trading up in here. It finally broke through. So, all right, that's the S&P. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Okay, same kind of thing. Looking a little better though. We do have this low here did not come down to this low here, this previous low, but it's just as ugly, And look at the NASDAQ here. This is also another sign. We talk about getting higher highs and lower highs. You can see we reached a higher high, the same higher high, higher high. We keep climbing like stairs. Well, here we failed and reach a higher high. And here's another lower high. Well, now look at the highs. Now we're pointing downward. Okay. Looking at the lows. Here's a low. Here's a lower low. I mean, it's really not that confusing, but if you stand back and you look at it, say, hey, here's a weekly chart. All right. So now sometimes the signs are just there. If you really got to look at the chart, doesn't mean everybody's got it. Doesn't mean just keep looking at the charts, I guess. Higher highs and higher lows are always an important thing, and to see how the stock is moving, what kind of action you're getting out of it. Okay, let's take a look at the Dow. This one's ugly. Okay, here's the Dow. Okay, so looking at the Dow here, do you kind of see its overall curve? This top flattens out and peeling over, right? Again, look how the higher highs apply. Here's a high. Kept the same. Here's a higher high. Higher high, higher high. Not so much. Higher high. Okay. At the top of this, we have a double top, right? Essentially, we've come up to the same area of resistance up here at this level of 18,300. And then that's where we started our decline. Okay. So we can see it coming up here. You hit the double top. That's technically a sign of pretty much a reversal to the downside. I don't think it's very reliable myself, but if you read the technical analysis books, a double top is bearish, and you can essentially say we got that here. Now I don't know if this is a textbook double top, as some people teach, but that's what I see. 2 points hitting resistance, bouncing off it. Okay, so here we are. So now here we have a lower high, and we have another lower high, and then it just goes from there. And you can see our lows are getting lower. I mean, it's just as simply, if you just look at it, we're starting to curve around. So, yeah, this is just falling apart. Now on the Dow here, we kind of have this funky wedge. That means, to me, it's going to pop one way or another. You kind of get this triangle wedge shape here. It's running out of room. It might get another small day, and then it's going to either break down or break out. And I think the momentum is on the downside, certainly. Again, I don't have anything to tell me it's going up. One question looking at this, and I guess I can jump back to the S&P. It's the same. Okay, back to the Dow here, let's say. A lot of people like to bottom fish. They love this. Okay, that's when they buy. When everybody's selling, they buy. Okay, I agree with that, I guess. When other people are panicking, selling, they're dumping, there are people here buying, and they're catching their shares, okay? Because someone's selling, there's a buyer. For me, I like to wait for confirmation. I don't like to find bottoms. I think that is just will kill your account, and you'll be out of business before you know it if you try to find bottoms, okay? In this case, so you say, well, okay, well, you had this extreme movement here to the downside. A lot of people bought down in here, okay? And you can see, let me zoom in. You get this candle right here. Okay, this is where it opened, this is where it closed, but you can see the wick went all the way down here. So it traveled all the way down here and then finally started to recover, and it closed halfway up the candle. Okay, that's good. And a lot of people probably bought on this day. And they did get a nice little pop out of it, but that could be for the short term. What I like to see is higher highs. Again, let's show a reversal, a change in direction. So right now, would I buy the Dow? Looking at this chart, no. I would wait till we got above this level here. It just say 17,000, whatever. No, I'm sorry, 167,000. I would wait to find a higher high here. And I know if I get a candle that comes up in this area, preferably close above this area, I know I'm going to have a higher high. Well, I guess it has to close above this area to make a higher high. To me, that's better. Okay. But if we failed, right now, if someone were to buy this right now, this could easily just tank. And then you look back at the chart and you say, oh, we never made a higher high. It's all lower highs. I pound this all the time, but it's a real simple principle here. And it's pretty darn reliable. And moving averages, of course, I like to use as well. So that's that. So I'm holding on for Monday. I actually got some out of the money put contracts for next week. Expecting some downward movement. And if that proves to be correctly, and then we'll do fine. The contracts are pretty darn cheap. So, and most of my positions right now are on the downside there. I own a lot of puts right now. I have one call contract on SC, but that's, like I went over it last week. It's pretty much worth nothing. I can't get rid of it. It's just failed on me. Thing just no good. Not a lot of money there, but that is my one call. It's just a failed contract. We're not gonna produce anything out of it. So what I was going to do now really quickly is kind of just go over a few of the stocks that we have closed on. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay, so this last Friday, I think I may have went over this in last week's video, but last Friday I closed a few positions out. Where are we? All right, I closed a few positions out because I wasn't sure of what last weekend's Labor Day weekend would bring, and I wanted to close up, take some profits. The profits weren't spectacular, but I wanted to get the money off the table. And again, my purpose would be to re-enter the market on Monday if things were right. So I took my money off the table, took my profits. I didn't want to see them go away, and it was actually a good move in a few. But RYM here, Rayonier, I sold Rayonier for 13.5% gain. I don't have my entries in that, but I think I bought up in here, got down to here, and got a little bounce, and I ended up selling. Well, last Friday, so right about in here. Again, 13% gain. I'll take it. Next, I closed out GG, Gold Core. I bought right back in this day, right when it hit the 200 day, or I'm sorry, the 50 day. It popped a little bit through and it did a little bounce, and I ended up selling right about in here before it broke through. So I got a 32% gain on GG. Next, FCX. Okay, now this is quite a hot one right now. FCX is a lot of people are really hoping for a bounce out of this right now. I've been playing this in the downside all the way back up in this area. Just been doing really well in this one. It's just been tanking. And we did get a bounce out of here. Again, Carl Icahn came out and said he was investing, $700 trillion in the company, or he had invested. He had already entered all his positions, bought all of his interest in the company. So there wasn't going to be, he was probably the one buying all this right here. That got a nice pop out of it. Then it pulled back, and I expected it to pull back. It's just a short term, I thought. Pulled back a little bit, and we're starting to get a nice little run through here. Now I'm kind of wondering, because what do we have? Actually, I thought it was a higher high. Looking at this point, it's pretty darn close. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Here we go. Okay, so that would be my trigger that I need to, if we get a higher high, just barely. It's not convincing for me yet. But anyways, I'm watching this one. I do have a couple of contracts on this one deep in the money and one deep out of the money. Not deep out of the money, but one out of the money, one deep in the money. But I also closed out some positions as well. I closed out 2 positions in FCS last week, one for a 27% and the other for 46.5%. And those are ones I rode through down here. Got the pop. And this one, last week in the video, I told you the story about Trade King, how they went offline and for the day and didn't have any backup or continuity or anything. And I couldn't trade for 2 days. In this move, I was locked out of trading. That cost about $1,000 right there. In the end, I've been able to recover. Initially, it was $2,000, but I was able to recover a little bit. But big move there. Hands were tied. I could not trade. So I am now moving over to TD Ameritrade. I have accounts with several different brokers, but primarily I've been using Trade King recently. And yeah, I've moved about half my money out right now. And in the process of closing out these other positions, and they'll be opening them up at TD Ameritrade. Anyways, so here we are with FCX. Again, I closed out those 2 positions at 27% and 46.5%. I currently have 2 other contracts right now on this. I have an October 10 put. Where are we at? Yeah, here's $10 right here. October. Again, the financials in this company just absolutely stink, and they're doing an IPO to push out some of their energy assets and do a different IPO. And I believe they're going to be doing that real soon here. I'm not sure what that's going to do to the stock here, but anyways, I'm watching and holding. I'm expecting real action next week again in the markets. If the markets do not do what I expect them to do next week and this thing continues, I will close out those positions. Take a loss on some of those. The other one I have for FCX, it was a November 13 put. So that one's in the money for November. So basically, I got all the way down to here, for at least to be underneath 10. I think it'll do that. Again, the financials in FCX really stink. So that is FCX. What else we do? Marathon. Closed out Marathon for a 34% gain. Don't remember where I got in. Probably back in this day right about here. I didn't hold it that long. Probably about a week. Or not a week. A couple weeks maybe. Well, if I sold back in here and I got a 30% gain, I must have gotten up here. Oh, it's just before earnings. That's when it was. It was right back in here. Then we had earnings and the thing just went from there. So anyways, Marathon, MRO, 34% gain. Yeah, and those are the ones I closed out on. Oh, and I got 2 more. Sorry. BDSI. I closed this out last week as well. This was for a 53% gain. I got in up in here. I bought this thing when it was high. Actually, I bought in down here. Looking for the new breakdown. You can see it closed beneath support. It bounced right back. And I waited. I got up here and I bought another contract. And I sold this one. I don't remember what I sold it at. 53% and where is it? Well, anyways. Oh, 131%. Okay, so this one is the one that this one here is the one that I sold for 131%. And this one is the one I was kind of trapped in because it went the other way and I held it expecting it to bounce back, and that's why I just closed it out down here for 53%. So yeah. So what's the other one? I'm sorry about that. Joy, I closed this out right before earnings. I was up 56% on Joy. And on this one, I actually had a very small amount, and it was too small for me to really scale out of. I just closed it out. And, it's those times, earnings again are a real crapshoot. And it's just those times when you decide to hold through earnings, it does the opposite and you lose all your profits. And I'm not, with the market the way it is, I'm taking my profits. Okay. I saw this the next day, it was down 15% or something. Gap down strong. And you know what? Of course, I want to kick myself in the butt for, not holding, but you know what? I'd be kicking myself in the butt if it went the other way and I'd lose all my profits. But I'm not arguing 56% gains. I did not re-enter this yet or anything like that. So that's that. Okay, so I did open a few positions. I did start new positions in ConocoPhillips. a put. So I'm expecting this to roll on the downside here. Let me turn on the linear regression here. We might be able to see a channel here, what I'm kind of looking at. Okay, here we go. Here's linear regression. So you can see ConocoPhillips, well, their fundamentals absolutely suck as well. And you know, oil's just been taking it as well recently. So I'm still on that. Okay, and this is obviously trending downward, and that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so basically we got a nice little pop out of it. I'm expecting this to roll over and continue its downward trend through this channel. So I bought some puts on this one. Yeah, so there's that. I also got in. This one's kind of one I'm a little unsure about. And again, Land's End. I've been watching this. This thing just climbed. Look at all these green candles. We talked about this in the last video. It was coming about to this area, I think. I waited and I got in, I think on this top day. We got these two small candles here, and I finally wanted to buy the put contract while we had bullish momentum. The put contract was nice and cheap. I didn't want to wait for it to turn. I actually got in right at the top. I wasn't expecting a pullback this high, but look at Friday. And look at Friday, up 2.7%, up 76 cents. So that's got me a little concerned, a little bit right now, but that's okay. We'll see what next week brings. Yeah, so we'll see. I've only had this for a few days here. So I'm in that. And what else did I get into? What I got into was ASNA. Pretty much same kind of setup here. I'm expecting this thing. We did not make a higher high here. You can see we have a lower high. I'm expecting this thing to curl right down and, excuse me, head from, I got in here on this day at 12 or so. I'm expecting this thing to come on down, hopefully at least get back down to the 10s. And I'll hold this as well. My contract is through October. So, yeah, so those are the three new positions I got into here in the last couple of days. So, all right, let me jump on over and see. All right, here we are. Okay, let me go back to the chart now. I was just seeing if, let me see if I can get the link. I can invite. If I need to invite somebody here. All right, stand by. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So I'm going to go through a few stocks right now I'm looking at that are on my watch list for this next week that I am expecting to continue to the downside. So they got a nice little pop out of them. I'm like the rest of those I'm playing, I expect these things to roll over and continue downward. I know many people are actually really kind of bullish in the markets right now. Again, they like to try to find bottoms. And I'm not doing that. Again, I'll wait for it to come to me. And it's, I mean, I'm not just going to buy at bottoms and just hope and pray that it turns around on me. You know, so let's see here. Okay. Let me jump back over and I'll turn on the screen share one more time. This just seems like a really boring video today. I'm sure it is, but I apologize. All right. Okay. MCF. Okay. This is another one I'm kind of watching too. I've done really well in MCF here in the last few months. I do not have a position in it right now. I was looking at it, but the implied volatility is just really high right now, but I really like this setup as well. I mean, here, look at MCF. We're going to see a lot of these oil companies that pretty much have the same setup right now. And to me, it's a good buying opportunity. So the question is, well, what's oil doing? What's energy doing? Well, energy, I think last I checked, it was down like 39% overall for the year. Or maybe that was for the last year. 12 months. I forget, but it's not doing well at all. And I mean, look at these. I mean, look at MCF here. Okay. Let's look at Chevron, ConocoPhillips. FCX is a copper play, but I guess they have a lot of oil as well. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And so what I'm looking at here, as you can see again back here with MCF, This looks pretty attractive. You can see it's come up and hit the 50-day line. This gold line is the 50-day moving average, and you can see how we've just come up and how it just hits it. And what I'm thinking, this is going to just curl right around and continue its fall. So I'll actually even write that one down. I might be looking at that one for next week as well. All right. I'll shoot through a few others here. But again, that's pretty much what I'm looking at right now. Stand by real quick, please. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so I got a watch list here. I'm going to go through. I kind of have quite a few here. These have just made my list here in the last couple of days. Some of them are a couple of days old, but they're still in play. Okay. Again, these positions I play are swing trades. I'm not holding them for a day or two. If I can get my profits, if I can clear 50% in a couple of days, well, I'm out. But my intention is really to hold these things. And when I buy the contracts, I buy them out on average about 100 days out. So, there's 3 months out. And again, these are not overnight plays. So with that, most of the time when I look at charts, I'm looking at the daily. Okay. And so that's when you see these setups. They're looking at the daily. And of course, I can zoom in and take a look at the hourly and get a better look. Okay, well, what do we got here? Okay, so let me jump back here again. Okay, here is the daily on MCF. See, we got this nice little pop out of it. Okay, and we're starting to, you see it hit the 50-day. It's starting to curl over a little bit, right? Okay, let's zoom in. Let's look at the hourly chart. Here's that pop we talked about. It's come right on up. Okay, now note the linear regression is now pointing upward. Okay, anyways, you come up, here's our high, here's our low, made a higher high. Don't really have that low yet, but you can see it's holding this line, and then now we're just starting to break down. Okay, so is this time to get in? I would probably wait before I got in. I would probably wait at least till it crosses underneath 9. Now you're saying, well, you're going to lose, 5% or a percentage in that area. Well, yeah, who cares? But what I want to see it to show, I want it to prove itself to me. I want to see it curl up and come back down and find a new low, a lower low, not a new low, a lower low. So for me, I would wait for this to get underneath, close on the hourly underneath 880. I'd want to see it continue downward. Okay. Because then where are we looking? Well, much of anything right there. I'm expecting this thing to come back down. So I'll ride it from 880 down to 780, 680. I don't care about the 50 cents. Okay. Because I want to increase the probability and the chances of me being successful and profitable. So I'll give up 50 cents. I don't care. Come to me. Show me you can do it, All right. So back to MCF. Okay. I'm going to shoot through a lot of these here. Now, again, these have made my list. I have a good handful of ones I'm looking on the bearish side. And I also have some I'm looking for that are meeting not my premium picks criteria, but they're giving me signs of bullish action. I don't think the market's going to provide it. Again, you don't want to trade against the market. 75% of all stocks trade with the market, no matter how good or how bad the company is. Well, almost, but just don't fight the markets. Okay. So I'm going to go through a bunch of bearish ones. First one we're going to look at here. And a lot of these setups are going to be very similar, okay? Because there's certain exact criteria I want to see. And you're going to start to see a common pattern in these, okay? I don't need to give you any detail on it, but you'll soon see. If you keep looking at the charts, you will see. And I'm not saying that to give you on a wild goose chase, but again, I have certain criteria that triggers technical criteria that I expect to meet on my setups. And again, with that, these charts will all start to look a little similar. So we have mutual or Micron. Really quickly here, as you can see in this commentary, will essentially be the same for the rest of them. What we have here, as you can see, we have the linear regression channel I have drawn in here. It's sloping downward. Okay, and you probably agree that this stock has been trending downward recently, at least in spring, right? And you see the linear regression gives us this channel it's drawn in here. Now, this should be a live channel. This thing should move every day because it's likely calculated. So when we come back in a week, this thing could be a little wider or skinnier or less of a slope or steeper or anything like that, but it's just a good guide. Right now, we're at the top of that. And we just came up and hit the 50-day here. You see that? and we've held it and already started to bounce off it by a couple of days. Okay, so what I'm expecting this to do is, let me see if I can move this up a bit. I'm expecting this thing to bounce and continue on down. Okay, so we're currently at 17, we'll say 16, 17. I expect it to come down at least to 14. Okay, this low is at where it closed at 1379. Doesn't mean it's going to stop there. It might stop and trade sideways for a couple of days and then bounce. What this thing could do is just absolutely tank down here, and then we'll hit earnings. It'll probably miss earnings and then just come all the way back down to this channel down here into 9s. So keep an eye on MU. Next, Sun Edison, another energy outfit. Okay, see a linear regression channel is a lot bigger, but you can kind of see here we have a lower high. Okay, here's a low here, we'll lower low. Here's the high. Well, we're certainly getting the lower highs, right? I expect that trend to continue. So I expect this thing, this next low, to be beneath this one. So you could say it could come down to 7s. It's currently, where are we at? 12, 11s. So that's that. So that's SUNE. Again, that's Sun Edison. Okay, so here now we have Oasis, their oil and gas outfit. Yeah, you can see recently we have here's our low. Here's a slightly lower low. Here's a slightly lower high. So it's really kind of, we'll see, but we'll see if we can get this thing back down to 8s. And this thing could break down further. So I'm keeping an eye on that one. NFX, New Field Oil Exploration. Okay, so here we are. So got a pretty good, boy, it came all the way down to 27s there and bounced right back. Again, here's the channel. So I'm expecting this thing to come back down, perhaps down to 28s. Back down to 28s. And that's that. Okay. BAS, their energy outfit. This one's already started. Okay. This made a list a couple days ago. I never played it. It's only $5. It's got good volume. Price pretty low, though. For as far as options, there's not going to be much to play there, but you can see it's really broken down already. Okay, and then we have D now. This did really good the other day. So same kind of thing here. All right, so keep an eye on D now. Again, you know, we'll just see what these do here. I think again they're going to continue down there. We'll see. All right, sorry about that. Okay, next we have OKE. All right, natural gas. Same thing, downward channel. We're at the top of the channel. Expecting this thing. We got the 50-day here, kind of bouncing off it. Let's see if this continues downward. We got earnings coming up in 52 days. So again, we're getting lower highs. Let's look for a lower low now. That would be really nice. So we can go from 35 to 30, let's say. All right. SM. Okay, same thing. Oh, here's our 50-day. Sorry. 50-day gold line. It's just tucked in there a little bit. We're at the top of the channel. We're getting lower highs. Let's get our next lower low. Let's bring this thing right here from 34. Let's bring her on down to 25, 26. CRZO. Yeah. Anyway, I said that a lot of these stocks, these charts you were looking at have the same setup, and it's specifically, technically wise, isn't necessarily that they're bouncing off the 50. A lot of these, again, are the same. They're in oil and gas, energy. And, you know, again, they'll follow that sector and how it performs and the markets. And these just all happen to be doing this. I'm not necessarily saying that my setup is a bounce off the 50 in the channel that's downward sloping. I mean, that's what it's showing right now. And that is a good setup as well. But a lot of these, again, they're all looking kind of the same because they follow each other. Okay. So CRZO, again, same thing. It's currently at 32.87. Let's see if we can get down to 28s. And if you're playing options, well, these can be some really good plays if you can get in right. CPG. Okay, now CPG. This one I'd be a little cautious about. You see how a few of the others were weaker and they've already curled over. This one's still trading a little bit sideways. Had a couple of green days. He hasn't really pulled over yet. So what does that mean? Well, it means that this could be certainly, obviously be a little stronger than some of the others. I wouldn't just get into this just yet. You see here, a 50 is up higher too. So this thing may have, well, I don't know. I probably wouldn't get into this yet. I would certainly wait for a lower low. I wouldn't wait all the way down here, but I would maybe, I don't have much confidence in this one. I definitely want to see it curl over a little bit. Okay, so here we are on the 60-day. I'm sorry, the 60-minute. You see we've had some nice pops in it. We're kind of starting to peter out. We've come up to some resistance area here, and now we're getting tangled up in these moving averages. Where's it going to go? Pretty interesting. Get back to the daily on that. Okay, that's CPG. A few days ago, we talked about, I think last week, we talked about KN. We were watching it. At least it's been on my board here for a few days. We're finally getting that thing to roll over a bit. Now, again, you know, I'd certainly want to see this thing close beneath this area before I got in. Close beneath 16s. So get down here. It shows me that perhaps we could be rolling over a bit from that recent movement. NGLS. Okay. Same thing, starting to roll over. WPX. WPX, not really there yet, is it? In fact, you can argue we still have some room. This will probably get sucked up into the 50-day here, and we get the top of the channel as well. So this might actually continue to trade sideways or move until these kind of meet up. Unless the market's just crap on Monday and this thing just drops. But WPX. LNCO. Linco? Yep, Linco. All right. So look at this here. Okay, obviously this thing is trending downward. Okay. Again, when I talk about people trying to find bottoms, that's all they do. Here's a bottom right here, and they throw $10,000 at it. Here's a bottom, another $5,000. Another $3,000. $1,000. Now down here, it's their freaking rent, and they're dead broke because this is going to fall right on through. Don't ever chase bottoms, or don't ever try to find a bottom. That's why you want to wait till you get confirmation that your setup is going to work. Okay. Now, again, it doesn't mean that I'm always necessarily right. You know, I make mistakes too. Everybody does, right? But you know, when you're sometimes, if you ever watch like Stock Twits, you don't see it on InvestFeed. The traders there are a lot more sophisticated, no offense, than at Stock Twits. Stock Twits, there's a lot of name calling and people calling each other idiots and crap like that, which is I don't even know why you even frequent there. But you see though, watch people and they're just bullish. This company's great. You look at the fundamentals and they're absolutely full of debt. They're in the red. Who were we looking at the other day? They were losing $7 and some odd cents a share and there's people thinking it's a buy. And they're like, how could you think you're bearish on this? This is only going to turn around. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, that $7 per share is your money, but they don't care. They just continue to keep throwing money after crap. Okay. Anyways, Linco, we're heading downward, right? Yes. Don't fight the trend. Okay. Here's our kind of a high. It's really not a high, but you can see we've kind of came up here a little bit, failed that, right? So that's kind of our little step here. Drop down. Are we going to find a new high? Oh no, we never did. So now we have a lower high again, right? Everybody, how many people bought here? Looking at these bars right here, a lot of action there. People were hopeful that this is going to be their big bounce. Failed to make a new high. Right back, turn right around. Now they're crapping. Now they're just praying and hoping that this thing just miraculously gets a bounce out of it. Well, it's probably not going to. And I hate to say that, but that's just the case. This is going to roll right around, just like it's done for the last 18 years here. So I exaggerated there, obviously. But this is going to come around, and it's going to find a new low. And it's going to come down into the $1.50s. We're going to lose $1 on this per share. Probably in a matter of days. Anyways, you can't really play an option on this, but this is at 252 right now. I'm expecting a new low beneath 2. Now, this could come down to hit 2 and bounce around a little bit. Okay. And it could get a little pop out of it, but I don't think so at all. Yeah. Okay. What do we got here? Okay. Lin Energy. You kind of see a pattern here, right? Here's our linear regression. It's drawing that channel, going all the way back to May, if not earlier. Okay. Going back to, let me look at the weekly here. Okay. Here's a weekly chart. So we're going back to 2013. Yeah, we'll say 2014 before this thing finally fails to make a new high, a higher high, and it's really starting to roll over, and it's just been downward since. But you'd agree that this is trending downward. Okay, well, it's probably going to continue trending downward. It's done that for the last forever. So where are we going? Same thing. This is probably going to curl around. It's currently at 311. We're going to come back down. We're going to be right down to the $2 mark. It might bounce around a bit there, but you can squeeze $1 out of that. You know what? But I think it's going to go lower. It's going to find a new low. And we could be down to $1, and it could be down to 50 cents. All right. EO, Diamond Offshore Drilling, currently at what, $22. Okay. Yeah, this made my list. I'm a little curious about this one, though. Let's see here. See, we did make a higher high. Here's a high. Higher, higher, higher. But then we kind of got a lower low, lower low. What's it doing here? Yeah, I don't like it. It's pretty sloppy. Okay, another one. TCK. We did good on this one. TCK, this is one we just closed out on over at InvestFeed. Where'd it go? Well, anyways. TCK, how did we do? I'm not seeing it. Anyways. Yeah, TCK. This has been a good ride downward as well. Currently at 650. Same thing. I'd probably wait till you got underneath this guy here before I got in. I'd let it cross close beneath 615, and then I would expect it to come on down to 550, and certainly lower on TCK. SBGL. This is one that I am watching. It's Sabane Gold. Okay, it's currently at 586. I won't be able to play this one. How's the volume? Good volume, average volume of 1.25 million. Volume on Friday was 3.2 million. You can see the nice spike in the volume here. This might continue on up here to the 100-day before it starts to lose volume and peter out before it curls around, fall. It starts its descent back down. So we could see sixes. That's only 15 cents away, 14 cents away. So let's take a look at the 60-minute here on SBGL. Okay. All right. So here's the 60-minute. Okay. Yeah, well, here we are. So you can see the linear regression now is drawing an upward channel. We're near the top of that channel on the 60-day. Yeah, it's a nice little run there the last few hours. Yeah. So anyways, keep an eye on that one. Expecting this one to pull back and correct and start heading back down to its normal range, trading range. And we talked about MCF already, kind of the same thing, watching this one, waiting for this to curl over a little bit more. Okay, now I have some bullish setups. The reason these aren't advertised, why I don't really share them, and certainly why they're not premium picks, is because the market is not bullish right now. And you can argue, well, we're still in a bullish trend and the market's still bullish. Well, that might be the case, but today it's not. And again, until we get out of this and start making higher highs and get back into this other range up in here, this is not good. We are not making higher highs. We will probably continue to make lower lows. Until then, I am not bullish on anything. Okay, but I do have some bullish setups here that I will share with you that my system pulled up. But again, I have zero confidence in. Okay, but we'll take a look at the setups here. ILMN. Okay, this was a premium pick, as you can see back in here, and it met our target. We were looking for a simple breakout back in here. Back in this area, not much of a breakout here. I mean, we didn't have much of a base it was breaking out of. You can see we've been watching at this point. We had a lower highs. You kind of had this line here. As you can see me extend this a bit. You can see what we're looking at that point. Finally broke out of it. So we didn't get in down here, though. I think if I remember right, I don't know how I missed this, but I missed it. But instead, it came up here, and then we wanted to have it break out above this resistance area here. Looking at that prayer candle. Again, that's it. Okay. And we finally waited, and in fact, made a premium picks list just there after that day. And it pulled back a little bit and then took off. And it actually went right up to our targets. So that's good. And it's since pulled back. And look at that, right before earnings. So where are we at now? Okay, so now what I'm looking at here, the reason why this probably made my bullish setup is because you can certainly look at Friday. We got some good above average volume. We finally closed up above the 200-day moving average here. That's good. But we still have the 100-day and the 50-day above it. Now, that'll serve as resistance for us unless we have a lot of action, a lot of movement. This could sit there and just get held up by that and trade sideways or bounce right off it. But we do have a higher high right now. This close. So that's printed. That's good. So now we have a higher high. You can see our lows are getting higher as well. On the very short term, that's good. Let's jump to the 60-minute. Let's take a look at what we have. Okay. All right. So, interesting. Okay. If it wasn't for this run right here, obviously, I would be still bearish on this. But it finally popped above. Now we're on the 60-minute, the hourly chart. And it popped above the 50-hour and the 100-hour lines, popped above it and just took off. But you can see here we're sloping downward with our highs and our lows. But now we're getting that. I don't know how strong it'll be. I don't know what the news is either. That's quite a short-term pop there to really draw me in. Even if the markets were bullish, I don't think I'd get in yet. Okay, next. Tractor Supply Company, TSCO. Tractor Supply, kind of looking about the same, isn't it? This looks just like the S&P, almost. Okay, except this has a recent higher high. This is what I was talking about the S&P. Again, going back here, would I get into this? I said no. I'd want to see a higher high above these levels, right? Above 200, close above it. That's pretty much Tractor Supply has kind of done the same thing. We got this major pullback here, got a bounce, and I would say I'd wait for above 87, close above 87 if I were to play this. And that has now delivered that. So that looks good for a Tractor Supply Company. But again, the markets aren't looking very bullish to me, but whatever. These are bullish setups that met my criteria. I'm not endorsing them and I'm not buying into them whatsoever, but I do like the setups. And if, again, the markets were bullish right now, some of these would make the premium picks list. We have Guild, good old Guild. Same thing. We've reached a higher high here most recently. That's good. And we got the 50-day and the 100-day just above it that we're going to have to get around. Another consideration here is the RSI. Okay, look at that. You can see what we have here. We've hit this downward sloping resistance here. Hit it, close, hit it, and it just keeps knocking. Finally popped through. So looking at the RSI, this could be the start of a nice run. In Guild, usually their fundamentals are usually pretty strong. So let me see real quick here. If I see anything, yeah, Guild is strong. Rated A+ with Market Smith, IBD. Yeah, that's good. So let's see if it can outperform the market. So that's Guild. Next we have EW. EW generally has been really strong as well. Oh, I'm not liking that one. Yeah, EW is an A. 96 out of 100 investors.com. Not liking this one. Now, you could argue that we've kind of found some support here on the 200-day. It's our purple line. The linear regression is sloping upward now. It's increasing. An increasing channel here. We're at the bottom of it. We got support. I'd still wait for a higher high. I'd want to get it up in this area about 142 before entering. More safely, I'd love to see it get above 145. But yeah, that's EW. Next, Celgene. That's not it. Celgene. Yep. Wow, Celgene had a nice pop before earnings there. Look at that. I don't remember what the news was, but 119 up to 130. Sweet. Popped, hit earnings, met earnings. I don't know about guidance, but it certainly pulled back. It went with the markets. And the same thing on that day. Look at that. Not a very strong bounce out of here yet. I like Tractor Supply Company was better. They had a stronger green candle to close on Friday. This one's just, you still have Wednesday's action that still hasn't cleared above. So AOS. Oh, okay. Here's AOS. I got into AOS. I played AOS. I don't remember how I did. I'm smiling, so I think it was good if I remember right. Anyways, AOS. But look at that run there. Look at that nice bounce from the super dip we got here recently. Sweet. This is looking good. Okay, so what I see here, of course, I see something like this. It's not exact. What do we got? Something like that. Yeah, see what this tells me now with the moving averages here. We got the 100 days, the blue, and we have this area here. I'd want to see it clear above this at least, kind of break out of this downward sloping resistance we have here. Let's take a look at the RSI and see if it shows us anything. It should be about the same. We'll do something like that. What do you think? Okay. Well, looking at the RSI here, that could have got us in even a few days earlier. That could have got us in on this day. We could have gotten at 66, and we're now at 60, almost 69. Again, I'd love to see this thing at least hit 70, find a new higher high, at least a higher high from this one. That's at 71. Yeah, interesting. I like that action here on the bullish side. That's nice run there, aside from what the market's been doing. Then we have UVE. Same thing. Nice movement here the last few days. And in fact, we cleared finally above the moving averages. Again, purple's a 200-day. Blue is 100-day. And the gold's hard to see is the 50-day. You can see this was a premium pick, and it failed us. This was the area we're looking to get a breakout of. Let me jump further back. So you can see at the time, this is trending upward nicely. Okay. It's held the 50-day line just nicely. Okay, and then we got a pullback here. Well, pullbacks are okay sometimes. And you get a stock that's been trending for a long time, trending upward, and you get a pullback. Well, sometimes, usually, you got some good support for that pullback. You put a tight stop on it, you get a nice bounce out of it. We didn't play this off support here. What I did was I wanted to break new ground, find new ground for a breakout. And when I do my breakout plays, I want them to close above. I want them to close above the breakout area here that I'm looking for. This green candle did it. Clearly, we closed above it. Volume was down a bit compared to the day prior. Beat earnings. I'm not sure what happened here, but it did not work. It pulled back and then failed and stopped us out. We had a pretty good stop on it. Yeah, tight stop at 3%. Normally, it's no more than 8%. That would have been down in here, and we would have been much worse off. So I had a tight stop on it, but that was a prior premium pick. And again, look at that. We now closed right above the same. Note the same resistance area here. We just closed above it. But I don't know if I have much confidence in this stock. You see, we cleared it here, popped it, and then just boom. Not very good. All right. That is that. Okay, I got one other one here. This is a bearish one I'm looking at. WLB. Okay, and then SanDisk here. I'm expecting the same thing. I don't know. Looks like it might be holding up okay so far. I did not play these yet. These are just ones that made my list. FET. It's, yeah, definitely curling over there. That's good. Talked about KN already. And I guess I'll end with ANF, Abercrombie. Oh, yeah, look at that. So 21 down there to where are we at, 1950. And I think we got a ways to go. I think we're going to come down to 17s. So we'll watch that one. Yes. So let me get out of here. All right. Well, that is that, folks. I don't know how long we've been doing this. It's been 1 hour. Okay. A lot of stocks, a lot of things to look at. Yeah, so I apologize for my pessimistic views on the markets today. Again, I really think next week, the next week or two is going to be, my gut's telling me. And I usually always go with my gut. So if you're not in the markets, I wouldn't be green. I wouldn't be bullish in the markets right now. If anything, I'd protect any profits you have. And you can sit on the sidelines. There's nothing wrong with sitting on the sidelines. Study, work on your setups. Even continue trading on paper even. I mean, but just when there's a storm, you got to bring the old chickens in. Where did I come up with that? I don't know. I just made that up. But anyways, the storm's coming, bring in the chickens. It's okay to be on the sidelines for a few days till the storm clears. It's already stormy and there's black clouds ahead. That's what I think. So, all right, folks. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. This is Eric from TopFlight Trades. If you have any questions, I can be reached at topflighttrades.com. I'm over at StockTwits. I'm at InvestFeed. I'm at Facebook, Twitter's, everywhere. And also at topflighttrades@gmail.com is my email address. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me. And for anybody else, I have a couple other people I'm doing videos for. I'll be doing those today. And I'll send you the link when I get those done as well. So, all right. Well, thanks a lot, folks. If you liked the video, go ahead and like it and share it. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks. Bye.